Okay, boys and girls, I didn't get to do a video yesterday, but I promise I will recap some of the things that we did yesterday as well. So this week we are going over poetry. We didn't glue an anchor chart because we had already done that the first week of school. So this is the one we're going over. It's from Butterfly Eyes and Other Secrets of the Meadow on page 341 of My View 4.1. So yesterday, of course, we did the picture walk. We kind of predicted what this selection was going to be about. And today, we actually went ahead and read pages 342 to 345. We read about something called a spittle bug, and xylem and phloem, okay? And so just make sure that you read it. We also got to identify certain things that we saw in this poem. We identified the lines, the stanzas, the repetition, and as well as the rhyme that was here in each stanza. And in the next one, we identified a bit more of the alliteration, some of the rhyme, and it was all one stanza. And I did mention how sometimes in poetry, the authors or the poets do tend to be creative about how they write their poems. So there will be different designs that you see. Sometimes it's not always in perfect stanzas like this. So we read these two as well. This is prose type of literature where there's only paragraphs. That is prose. And where there are stanzas, which is poems or poetry, of course it is poetry, and that we did also read about it in the background, poetry and prose. They're combined in this selection. So after that, after analyzing and annotating, we did our word webs for Butterfly Eyes. And there are 5 words for this week, so make sure you do them if you are not getting online with me. We did 3 today. It was tender, excreted, and vessels. Okay, so make sure you do that. You write the meaning, synonym and antonym, and the illustration. Okay, so that was for reading. Tomorrow we'll continue that and we'll start writing our star stem questions. For writing, guys, we did continue on our 4th grade writing collection. So it's week 3.1 to 3.2. I did introduce this to you all the week before Thanksgiving break. So it was the quote from Martin Luther King Jr. and the prompt is write about a dream that you have, explain why this dream is so important to you and what you may do to achieve it. Make sure you do that, look at that. There were several things that came up today, like making your own makeup line, that was a dream. Discovering a new species out in the ocean, that was another dream of another student. Becoming a police officer. So you have to explain why this dream is important and what you're going to do to achieve it. So it could be in 2 separate paragraphs. And I kind of put my dream on there, my childhood dream, which was to be on a Disney Channel show. This is kind of like my rough draft for my introduction. So make sure you do that before you need to do your brainstorming, your pre-writing stage, okay? Okay, so that was for writing. For math, we worked on page 53, and this is what we did. There were several forms of, there are several forms of multiplying. And in this one, we did an array and a sketch I told the students that it would take a little long to, write the sketch for these. So I just went ahead and drew arrows. I highly encourage you all to use the area model instead. So you break up each digit, okay? You break up the 17. You can break it up into 10 and 7. It's always good that you subtract 10 first. You break it up with the 10. That way you can multiply 10 times 10 for 100. We did that with 15, so we broke it up into 10 and 5. 10 times 10 is 100. 10 times 5 is 50. 7 times 10 is 70. 7 times 5 is 35. We add across, we add up and down, and we get 255. Now I did show the traditional way of multiplying, which is, let me see here, where's my journal? Which is the way most of us learned. Okay, and we just went ahead and checked the same answer. That's what we got, and we did the second one as well on here. So make sure you copy that down. Make sure you understand what the area model is and how it works. If you have any questions, let me know. Again, this is on page 53. For homework, we did 40 yesterday and 41 today. Let me just take that out. It's the basic facts. (40) and 41. Here is page 41. So it's again, for example, in the first one, we would use a commutative property. So 1 times 11 is 11. We can switch the factors around. 11 times 1 is 11. It'll give us the same product. And it's just doing the fact family. So we would divide 11 divided by 11 is 1. And 11 divided by 1 is 11. Okay? So that's how this one works. We will check it tomorrow. This is homework for 12/1/20. Okay. And we finished up, for social studies, we finished up our lesson on the Battle of the Alamo. We did take our quiz on the Battle of the Alamo, and that was in My World, page 190 to 195. The Battle of the Alamo, we learned how, of course, the Mexican forces overpowered the Texan forces, and unfortunately all the Texan forces died. All of the soldiers that were fighting for Texas liberty died. And that's why it's a super important historical landmark, the Alamo. So make sure you do read this. It's very important Texas history, and take the quiz if you have not done so. And let me see what else. For science, we did page, I believe we started talking about electromagnetism. Let me see. Electromagnetism. Okay. So that was on page 246. We read yesterday 244 and 245. And I believe we read up to page 248, and then we watched a video that, of course, I post on the Google Classroom. And that was it for science. For spelling today, we have our, and that's what I forgot to send yesterday as well. I will send that today. For spelling, we do have our ladder words, so make sure you do your ladder words. I will send this out in a bit as well. Yesterday was pattern highlights, and today was ladder words, so make sure you do this. And that was it, boys and girls. I will see you all tomorrow.